Hey guys, market update, April 20th. It's 9:41 a.m. in New York. So I wanted to do this earlier today, but there were a lot of uncertainties, and I was looking for things to develop. So I will give you the latest update and the story on where things are now, and hopefully the information will benefit you. I am in a trade here, euro dollar short. Many of you that know the method may also be in this trade. And also going forward, I can give you a projection. So if we just back out, that fib is that, okay. How far back do we want to go on this? No, let's just go 1 hour. Okay. So we're very simply here, 618. The slight overshoot, as I talk about, is a common pattern. But generally, we have a retracement here. Now, long story short, there was not a lot of strength down here, which typically means if it makes it to fib, it might set up for the short, right? Also, look, sign of weakness, weakness, right? Here's your strength, not very high volume, just generally the overview. So we don't see accumulation here. If anything, we see some selling into the up moves, you know, attracting sellers as it moves up. So typically when it does that, again, you're going to get even more selling in this area and continue down. So going into a Tuesday, I already figured that was going to be the trade. I did upload on my YouTube channel yesterday a live stream where you see analysis on me looking for the short here. I did end up taking it. At the end of the day, it sat around and fizzled out, partial profit, and hit break even. Today, again, the same thing. So we're seeing now that weakness at the 618 area. If you look at the 5-minute yesterday, the weakness started coming in all throughout that area. Again, not surprising here. So there's the 50 fib yesterday. You know, you get your signs of weakness everywhere here. The double top, I entered here, and we ended up hanging around and then came down. Now, again, we're here, sign of weakness, right? Now, new high ground, sign of weakness, right? This is key. That was really good. So seeing that really gave me the confidence now. Look for the short setup. Now, considering that, I'm giving a lot of detail here, but I figure people like this. There was some buying, all right? Signs of strength here, signs of strength here, right? So do we really see a consensus among smart money? Can we say, in other words, that this is clearly distribution? No. Proper distribution should not have signs of strength like that. And that tends to suggest that you may range for a while and not be able to get out of there so soon and move down. So this became still I won't get into the details of the setup, but it's still reasonable to look for it to get in and just put some in the bank here around 20 pips and see what we get. And there is a sign of strength here. So you see that there's a bit of a mix-up. We rather have signs of weakness without these high volume signs of strength, and then we can call it distribution, you know, aka smart money building up short positions, anticipating a down move. But you know, they got kind of aggressive here, and I won't go through the details of the entry. But point is, what can benefit you going forward is if we can get through this area now, particularly if we're going to test here and get no demand stuff going on, right? Instead of this high volume rejection, buyers still hanging around, maybe they fizzle out. Maybe we break through here on medium volume without any rejection. We get out of there. Then we're on our way, right? Then we're saying we're in whatever you want to call it, markdown or retracement of the up move. We expect that it's going to continue. If we can get there, I might have to manage my trade right now, actually. No, I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to give it some room because I already closed partial. So let's see if we can get a little lower before I do anything. But my stops are break even. So the point is I better get this video out. So if we can get through here without this being a fake breakout, sign of strength, right? We want to easily start floating through or not seeing high volume, creating a bounce as a result, then we're likely to get down here. So, and even the 5-minute little mini retracements and the no demand stuff could get you in. Okay, so that's where we are going forward. It's all about successfully breaking here to say, okay, the sellers kind of won this fight in a way, which it looked like they were anyway, right? The volume was higher on the weakness. Okay, let's move on. So going forward, that's the projection there. And again, anything that happens here is going to be very good information. If you see signs of strength, large buying could go right back up. If you don't, it could easily turn into a reversal and come back down. But right now, the sellers seem to be taking over, and if that's the case, you don't want to fight that and look for buying. You want to go with that unless you get high volume signs of strength. Okay. Now, as far as pound dollar, particular ones here, EJ, pound yen, that's it. Those three. They're in this, as far as the ones I trade, those three, they're in this phase where, or this condition where it's undecided. I haven't taken a trade on them today, just the euro-dollar trade. Basically, we have an uptrend that saw some weakness yesterday. If you look at the details of it on the 5-minute chart, it's not convincingly distribution. Even though you're looking at this right here and saying, okay, there's your climactic volume at a high price, a bearish reaction, you're looking to sell, right? And it became resistance and everything. But again, it's sort of the euro-dollar situation where you have that mixed up stuff. At least the euro-dollar was clean enough. This is not so much, I won't get into details of the 5-minute here, but I don't trust this sign of weakness to go short. And we had a sign of strength here, a decent amount of volume, not huge. So basically going forward, if we can see proper weakness here, or again, weakness, right, then we have a better situation, a short. That looks like the euro-dollar, right? That's the short today. So it's the idea that you see the price area where sellers are active, and you see that tested again and tells you, okay, there wasn't some profit taking or some blip. We're building up short positions if we see that again in that price area. So that always helps the situation. And again, since that didn't set up so cleanly, that would really kind of be required for me to go short, is to see that sign of weakness into this area. So that's the deal. Like if it breaks through here without weakness, okay, it's bullish. It was a blip, and onward the trend goes, right? So now you kind of get your bearings based on what's happening. If we end up moving down and not testing here, which seems unlikely, it's probably going to test there. But if we move down, we get to find out how much activity is going on as far as the buying. So, but the point is, it's a little mixed up. We need an answer. Basically testing the high or the low will give us that answer. We're sort of in the middle of a range. It's hard to get, you don't get all the information the way that highs and lows reveal the information. So that's the case on a lot of these pairs. EJ, let's look at yesterday's high, right? We're seeing, okay, it's a healthy, strong uptrend, but then it has high volume yesterday and a sign of weakness. Let's look at that. There's your weakness. Okay, not great, right? The high volume started here. It's not concentrated at the high price area. And we don't see like continued selling into the up moves over here the way we would, expect in distribution. So that's what I mean about not really convincing me to go short. So again, it applies to a lot of stuff. If we test here, we see better situation as far as the selling, great. If we come down, then we can find out what's going on as far as buyers here. If we see very strong buying, we're likely going back up. So it's like you can't go against the trend, and it's not at a point where you would want to get in a trade. Now, these retracements earlier today, okay, tradable. I'm not on at this time, but just to point that out, right? Now, some of this stuff could have scared you out of buying because there was some weakness, so reasonable. We need some straight answers, so we needed to clean up. All right, and pound yen again, same story. Weakness yesterday. Let's get in there and see. Sucks, right? That's your weakness. Look at the volume. So that's why this is a perfect example, extreme example of why you got to check things on a 5-minute chart. Don't just believe the 1-hour chart. Oh, I jumped back the wrong day. I thought that was a little much. Let me do that again. Yesterday's high. Let me double check. That 14, right? So that looks like great weakness in the background. Time is short, right? And it did move down, but call it distribution, right? Maybe, maybe not. Look, yesterday, 14. And where's our weakness? It's supposed to be here, right? It's not there. Volume dropped. This is actually strength, right? This is a down move attracting a bounce. And there's no distribution activity here. There's no weakness. So that really shows you 5 minute, you got to check. So if you're going to be shorting, right, you need proper weakness here. If it doesn't happen and you break through, okay, you're in an uptrend and keep looking for the long entries, right? All right, so hopefully that's all thoroughly explained. Now the AU and AJ have particularly shown not much weakness in a high price. So it's likely to continue the uptrend. It's bullish. And again, retracement earlier today would have been the time to look to get in. Would have been the price area to look to get in. The time of day is a little early, and I wasn't trading at that time, so I didn't get the opportunity there. But again, you see, you know, nothing climactic up here. So we should continue the trend. All right. That's about it. So Eurodollar, how's it going? Oh, good. So yesterday I shorted, hoping for this area. Today I shorted again. It looks like hopefully I'll get it. Make a little more on this one. It's been very good lately. I actually got a winning streak going. I don't even count, pay attention, but I know last week was all wins, and it's been going good for a while. So if you want to check out the live sessions or anything else, feel free. All right, guys. Hope that helps. Every day is different, right? It's a story you're going to get off the chart. You got to believe what you see and just react. And if it's do nothing, you do nothing, right? But this was a nice one on the EU. Let's check out the entry, and you'll see a no demand. But it's really the aggressive selling that came in that veered off our template. If you know the template of our setups, right? It veered off the template in a way that showed aggressive selling, and that's what made me more confident to get in. So you can take a look at that. All right, guys. See you.